something that you were sort of led to, and in part through your writing. And I know I heard you say once that art is organic and organic in its purpose. And you started with a word on a plane, a few pages. And that writing process eventually led you to Rainbow Room Publishing. Would you mind sharing that story again?
Yes, and y'all remember I'm a novelist, so being brief is hard for me, but God and I are working. Several things to know that writing has been a part of my life for a very long time, and it was gratifying to learn very recently that no one started me doing it, but everyone that saw it encouraged it. And so one of the biggest ones, I have to give tribute to her all the time, my grandmother, Elise Johnson. She would see those little books made with college ruled paper. The covers, the back and the front, were college ruled paper. I had little color pencil drawings for the cover, 4 little illustrations on the inside, and an imprint on the back cover. This is me at about 11. And I bound them together, because you remember they have the 3 holes. I bound them together with the little twist ties that we use for garbage bags and the loaf of bread. And then I shared them with everyone. And recently, like months ago, God said, you've always been a publisher. And so fast forward, I, look at all these different things, going to college, we just have to grow up, and we have to live before we can write. And so, or at least I do. And so, as you said, writing was something that I had gotten away from. Writing as a child was one of those things that also just, if I had idle time and was bored, I did. Modeling stories, modeling comic books, literally taking the story from He-Man and She-Ra, writing it down and changing it up because I didn't like the way they ended it. The same with the Bible stories, the same with mythology, the same with folklore. And so I got away from that, got back into it a little bit in college because I was an English major. Now I have an English degree. We always have to make that distinction. Are you an English major? No, I graduated. I have an English degree. And and then from there, you get into the period in which I am still searching for a job, trying to have a career, and my mother, who you all will meet on my podcast this Thursday, my mother, Trinette Smith, T-Fit Light, fitness guru, she would always say, well, what about your writing? And I'm like, Mama, I'm trying to make some money. I need an apartment. I need a house. But what about your writing? And she watched me and just said, okay, he'll figure it out. And she prayed. I found out later on that she prayed and she fasted every Monday. She told me recently she fasts every Monday for all of her children, every Monday, and she's been doing this for decades. Okay? So at any rate, one of those searches for a great job, and on some level my wanderlust that comes with being an artist becomes with being a writer. I saw the opportunity for a job with the TRIO programs, the federally funded TRIO programs. Anybody familiar with Upward Bound, Student Support Services, that sort of thing. I was a student for the program at one point, and I worked for it for 15 years. And in the midst of that 15 years, I saw an opportunity to go west, to get away from the snow. And it was looked like a very promising opportunity, and so I flew out on their dime. They flew me in and everything. And I found myself on the plane. Before I got on the plane, I said, I need to do something with myself. This was the days before we really had the cell phones that can do all they do now. So what were you going to do on the plane? You were going to read a newspaper, go to sleep, eat something, pay an inflated price for an in-flight movie, whatever. So I decided I don't have that money. I have a pad and a pen, and I'll just write something. I haven't done it in a long time. And I literally started writing about the trip I was taking. And wrote some of it on the plane there, on the plane back. By the time I got back, it was close to about 20 pages. Through a series of events, I wanted that extra degree. I wanted that next degree. I did the first one for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people, but I wanted the second one just for me. And I eventually found myself at the world-renowned Gwendolyn Brooks Center, housed in Chicago State University. And I, applied and needed 40 pages of prose to get in. Logically, God said, you got 20 pages, just keep telling that story. And so I got the 40 that got me into the school, and then I thesis that was at least 100 pages or so. And so I just kept writing that story, workshopping it in class, showing it to my teachers who are also my advisors, who are also award-winning authors in their own right. I wrote my thesis, and the book was done. And when I finished it, I saw how much I had to read back over it and reflect on so many things in the story that were true to life, and other things that were more depicting emotions that were true to life, the scene exist in my reality. And I said, this helped me in so many ways. It helped me to overcome suicide. It helped me to overcome depression. It helped me to overcome internalized homophobia. It helped me and the God I serve get closer. And so I said, all of this is in this book. This could potentially help somebody else. And if I'm going to publish, why not publish this one? My dream has always been sci-fi. We're circling back to it now. God is good. But so that book was written, and then I planned to release it on my birthday. It was like giving God my birthday back, my life back, to put the book release on that day. And then it was great marketing. Family and friends are there. They're going to buy the book. Don't buy me a gift that day. Buy me a book. But and it works. And it got me halfway to the 150 books every self-published author is supposed to be able to sell. Tidbit to throw in there. But then I looked, and God said, now hold on a second. You're not just an author. You're a publisher. And I said, well, wait. I went through a self-publishing service. And he said to me, well, you paid for it, right? That's what a publisher does. You orchestrated it, right? That's what a publisher does. And now you're circulating it, which is also publication. You're a publisher. Now go figure out a company name. But it was born out of the fact that when I came out as a black gay man, as a same gender loving man, which gives the connotation of black, I did this. I was a publisher even in that moment. I sent an email to 70 different people that was just basically like, oh, I'm gay. Please love me. I hope you still love me. Circle yes or no. It was something crazy like that. And when I tell you that the love that just came back was amazing, but I found out through certain people that different people were waking up to finding out who knew when. And some felt a little bit slighted. And it bothered me. And I talked to my best friend. She's going to come on my show. I'm going to call her name now, even though she don't want to do it. She's coming on my show, Yvonne Winbush.
Call it.
So she and I were talking, and she said, Eddie, well, here's a great analogy. It's like you had a party at Eddie's Rainbow Room. Not the Rainbow Room Lounge, not Reading Rainbow. You had a party at Eddie's Rainbow Room. And everyone felt that they came in at the same time, and different people found out that they weren't on the quote-unquote A-list who got in advance and have since moved on to the after party. And so it turned into a repeating joke that every time I had anyone at my home at the time, I literally would make a Facebook event, and it would be Eddie's Rainbow Room. So when it was time for me to pick a name, it didn't even take long. It took less than a minute, and there was no deliberation. There was no other option. Rainbow Room Publishing. This was 2011. We're looking forward to the 10th anniversary of all of that this November.